what's up, you guys? So today I'm really excited because I'm going to be doing another video that's kind of related to two other videos I've done in the past, which I will link in the description below if you're interested in checking those out, that are all about kind of like how to become a successful waiter or waitress. And those were kind of for people that already are or that they want to be, but I'm going to make this video now for people that don't really know or have never really worked in a restaurant setting. And this is all the things to keep in mind when tipping your server. Okay, so I know this sounds a little bit crazy, and I'm sorry if I keep touching this, but this thing is like sliding off my head, and my hair is just not happening today, so I apologize. But anyways, so this is just where I work. In my state, at my restaurant, the servers get paid $2.89 per hour, period. We are taxed on that, so the majority of the time our paychecks are like $1 or like a couple cents. But yeah, so most of the time our paychecks are completely void. We don't even pick them up, like whatever. So all of our money that we make comes from the tips that you guys leave us. However, we don't keep all of those tips at the end of the night. There are other people that help us out throughout the night to make the experience enjoyable for you guys, so we do have to tip them out as well. They do get paid an hourly rate, but we also have to tip them. So it's a smaller percentage of what we make, but we still have to do it. So you have to just keep in mind that even when you're tipping us, we don't keep all of it. So even if, if we were fantastic, but, the host treated you like crap and you tip us badly because that part of the experience was bad, she's still going to get the money. And we're just going to be losing more money. You know what I mean? So, sorry. So just keep that in mind. So yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and get into some of the things that the servers can and cannot control during your visit. And just kind of like what to remember when leaving them some cash. So the first thing that your server totally can control is the accuracy of the orders and, the drinks and food that they bring to the table. They're the ones that are taking the orders, and the majority of the time they're the ones that are also bringing them out to the table. So they kind of have that moment in the back to say, okay, let me make sure I'm putting everything in correctly. Let me make sure that everything's coming out correctly before I bring it to the table. And if it's not, that's their chance to kind of send it back and get it fixed before it gets to you, to kind of set you off while everybody else is eating and you're the only one without your dish. That's always annoying. So that is in your server's control. What else is in your server's control is how polite and kind they are to you throughout the visit. They're the only ones that are responsible for how they treat you. You can be super busy, super slammed, super stressed, but if you go up to your table and you smile, that's going to make a world of a difference. Instead of running up to them all frazzled, wiping sweat off your forehead, if you, walk up to them, how is everything over here? Good, great, and then you walk away, that's all it is. So they do have control over that. If they're rude to you, then they're rude to you, and that's something that you should factor into their tips. Something else that your server can control is how they explain issues to you. So if you've been waiting for like 30 minutes because your appetizer is still not coming out, maybe the kitchen dropped it, or maybe they cooked the wrong thing, or whatever the case may be, but your server has the ability to come out and explain that to you and just kind of give you a heads up so you're aware of what's going on, so you're not just sitting there like, do-do-do, like, what's going on, like, where am I, or not where am I, because you probably know where you are, but where is she or he, so that's something that you should also keep in mind. And then again, goes along with that is also involving a manager. So before things get too bad, if your server kind of senses that things are kind of, taking a turn, they should involve a manager. And when a manager comes and just kind of acknowledges the fact that they're aware that things have been less than ideal, it really kind of helps the guest feel better. Should really appreciate that, because that server is taking the initiative and letting her manager know that, I messed up, can you go make sure everything's okay before they leave? So you should really respect and acknowledge that. Okay, now I'm going to talk about the things that we cannot control during your visit. So that being said, they shouldn't necessarily reflect in our tips, because we're doing everything in our power the majority of the time to make sure that your experience is great. And if something like this happens, you just have to be aware that, okay, did my server have anything to do with the issue that took place? So things that we can't control, some, but not limited to. How long it takes for the food to come out. Sometimes we do have control over that if we forget to put the food in, but a lot of the time that's not the case, and a lot of the time the kitchen is just really backed up and it's just taking a while, you know? You're not the only people that came out to eat. If you wanted food instantly, you should have made a Hot Pocket at home, you know? Like, I don't know what to tell you, you know? Sometimes, you know, the cooks are just people too. They only have 2 hands, you know? We don't have octopus in the back or octopi or whatever. They've got 2 hands and they can do what they can with what they've got. So cut them a break sometimes, you know? And especially on busy nights, you got to be aware of what's going on in the back as well as in the front, as you know, what you can't see as well as what you can. Something else that we can't control is how long it took for you to get to your table. The same way that we would never kick you out of your table because saying, you know, oh, okay, you've been here for an hour and a half, it's time for you to go, other people are waiting, you know, we would never do that for anybody else. So, you know, you can't really be that upset if you know, it's taking too long for people to get up and leave and for you to get your seat. I understand that it's frustrating. I understand that you're hungry, you want to get there, you want to get your food, but you also have to know that we can't control that, you know? We are doing everything we can. We're, you know, the bussers are cleaning as fast as they can, the hosts are trying to get, you know, a good rotation and, you know, everything going on. We're all doing our best to get you in there. You know, it's not anybody's fault, you know? The third thing that we can't control is what your food tastes like. Again, we don't cook the food, so we can't make it taste any better than it does. You know, we can bring you any sides you want. We can bring you any flavors, seasonings, things that you want that we have. We can send it back 1,000,000 times, but we do not cook it. So please don't blame us if, you know, you're saying, well, the menu says it's gonna taste like this and it doesn't taste that good. I apologize for that. I don't write the menu either. It is what it is. And that same thing goes for prices. Like, do you think that me and the other servers sit in the back and say, oh, okay, let's make this one $12.99? Like, we have no control. So just keep that in mind. And the fourth thing that I'm just going to mention, the last thing I'm going to mention, but definitely not the last thing to remember, is the atmosphere. You know, we can't go up to people and say, shh, you know, you're being a little bit too loud for that table over there. You know, it is what it is. You have to be aware of where you're going before you get there. If you're going to a family restaurant, you should anticipate that there may be babies crying or kids running around or, you know, whatever it is. If you're going to a bar, you have to expect that there's going to be a lot of loud talking, you know, maybe a sports game, yelling, loud music. You need to just be aware of that. Don't go somewhere that, you know, if you're 90 years old and you want to go out for like a quiet seafood dinner on the ocean, like, don't go to TGI Fridays. Like, I'm sorry, but it's probably, I mean, I'm sure there are some great ones out there, but like, don't go to TGI Fridays on a Saturday night during football season. Like, just don't do it, because why would you? And then blame the server because it's too loud in there. You know what I mean? Like, it just doesn't really make sense. I hope that you guys are a little bit more educated now on, you know, what we make, what the tips mean to us, and how we earn them, and what we do, you know, and how we all kind of work together to make things work and make things right for you. And if things aren't right with some section, let a manager know. You know, don't necessarily take it out on a server. If it's the server's fault, by all means, if they're rude to you, if they're getting your order wrong, if they're ignoring you, by all means, leave them a crappy tip, because they probably deserve it. But if the host made you wait an hour and then you sat down and a baby was crying next to you, you know, don't leave a 5% tip because you weren't happy with your overall experience, because we didn't have any control over that. So there you go. I honestly feel like some people just don't know. Like, they just don't think about it when they go out. They just blame everything on the server because it's easier that way. So yeah, we all work together. We all have each other's backs. The cooks, the bussers, the dishwashers, the hosts, the servers, the bartenders, at least where I work, we all work together. We're all a big family, and you know, nobody wants to make anybody have a bad experience. So let us know, but don't take it out on our tips necessarily. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching, and I will talk to you soon. Bye.